Hello, everyone, and welcome to Storm King's Thunder Big Boy Season.
Big boy season.
Boy.
It's my favorite part. We are back with episode 21 of our Storm King's Thunder campaign in the Forgotten Realms, where we expect much drama and flourish and excitement tonight. Before we get started with our recap and introduction, remember our friends at Animal Helper, a 501c3 located in New Orleans. They help special needs animals. And as always, if you are enjoying tonight's stream, make sure you're following. If you're already following, make sure you're subscribing. And, give us some bits if you're enjoying yourself. Or if you're not, just give us money. I don't care about your enjoyment.
We'll take money. Money's great.
Yeah, money's great. Just give us money. Alrighty. With that,
you have other requests? Someone may fulfill it. I'm saying.
So they make us sound like prostitutes, which, I mean, it's Twitch streaming. Anyway, we're going to get started with the wonderful, the illustrious, what was your clickbait title?
Two
Faye?
times any challenger.
Two-time any challenger, Faye.
Hello, it's me, Faye, the 2 times any challenger, 4 times Fight Night winner. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. It's Faye. I play and stream and write articles for TFT, and I'm playing Aubrey Harper, who has a keg for a party.
Party gig.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real shocker. I don't know. Crone.
All right, since Faye, a little flex. I feel like I got to flex. My name is Crowan. I'm rank 6 NA, going for that rank 1. Real soon. Have a tournament tomorrow, so that should be fun. Competing is cool, but I just won the TFT grind. But today I'll be playing Zane Kordakai from Mirabar, of course. So ready to have some fun planning Ocean's 11 heist party.
Casanova.
What a great
introduction, because I'm Casanova and I'm drunk. Anyway, so I'm Casanova. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Casanova Hot. I commentate TFT. I've got a podcast coming out sometime this month. We don't know. And, I'm just real excited for tonight, Matthew. I'm just really excited to just really fuck everything up. Just ruin everything right now. I'm so excited for it.
It's not the first time I've had a twink ruin everything in my life, okay?
And it won't be the last.
No, it's certainly not. May.
Hi, I'm May. I play Alyssa Seleniari. She's a 15-year-old druid. I think she's about to have a birthday soon, so she's about to be 16. I don't know if that's going to make it any better, but
it doesn't.
We'll see.
Nope, doesn't.
I may appropriate this
Really
party
doesn't.
as my birthday party. We'll see.
Sure, great.
That sounds like a Alyssa thing. I am not a cool esports player, so that's me.
Awesome. Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom. I don't have anything to flex, so I'm bald. I was at Disney. I got a cool hat. It's a Hufflepuff hat.
You got that from Disney, or you got that from somewhere else?
No, I bought it at Disney.
Which Hufflepuff did you steal it from?
I am a Hufflepuff. It is my hat.
Get some snaps for Tom.
I'm so confused. How did you buy Harry Potter stuff at Disney? It's like a totally different company.
He went to Universal. They're next to each other.
Oh. It's not Disney, that's Universal, Matt.
It's like the same thing, okay?
Okay.
I'm a warrior, fighter, player, drow. I stab people. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
We're doing great. We're doing great, sweeties.
Sweaties.
What?
Sweaties.
Sweaties. Tom, you're on Firefly on this channel on Tuesdays
That
at
is correct.
9:30 p.m. Central.
That is correct. That is 100% correct. I was just getting to that.
Oh. Because it sounded like you were done.
Nah, I just had to take a sec.
He wasn't gonna say it.
Continue.
We're just one whole disaster, aren't we? One entire disaster.
Alrighty, and as always, I am Matthew Foreman. I am your Dungeon Master and host here. Let's get started with this. I'm going to say this is part 2, baby. From Mirabar with Love, part 2. This is a fucking one of you know when you're at one of those in the middle of the season where it gets real heavy, and all of a sudden they're like part 1, part 2, part 3. This is that. Okay, it's gonna have like 7 parts, so get ready.
I was gonna say
will,
it's at least having a part
like,
3, 4. Like,
Yeah,
This is a 6-parter for sure.
yeah, for sure. However
We
long
haven't
it
gotten to the
takes.
store yet.
This shopping episode, fuck me. Okay, so when we last left the party, they had just not fled. They had just left the their victory at Xanathar's Keep after rebuffing a giant-led incursion and capturing a deadly fugitive named by the name of the Weevil. After some discussion and deliberation, they ventured forth toward the city of Mirabar, which, in case you didn't know, is Zane's hometown. He's from there. They entered Mirabar with suspicious eyes watching them, as it became to be revealed that Zane had left under less than ideal circumstances by the Marchion basically telling him to, get fucking lost. And he was kind of on a diplomatic mission to save face. And Zane apparently took his charge, his exile, not quite a proper exile, but he took his mission very seriously. And came back, and they held audience with the Marchion of Mirabar, where he promptly executed the Weevil in front of them, and while they stood in the pool of blood of the Weevil, the party talked about things with the Marchion. And the Marchion ended the conversation by forbidding Zane from seeing the Marchion's daughter, who seems to be a kind of interest of Zane's. The party then went to the estate of Zane's parents, which was rather illustrious, their family being rich and powerful. And we ended the episode with me ripping things off of Star Wars Episode 7. And while Lucius and Copperhead, aka Maya, had a nice little conversation across great distances, but it seemed like they were standing right next to each other. So we picked back up with Lucius being alone at the inn, and the other folks finishing dinner, perhaps having dessert, a drink afterwards at dinner in the Korakai estate. So, folks, what do you want to do?
Zane would, over dessert or whatever, try to quietly talk to his sister, Rosalia,
Okay.
and basically ask if she'd be down to chat a bit later, just about stuff, life.
Sorry. She looks up at you and she says, yeah, of course. She's like, do you wanna chat in the sitting room, or is this more private?
Probably private, to be safe, I suppose.
Okay.
Just been a lot on my mind, and I can confide in you, so.
Okay, why don't you meet me out at the balcony overlooking the grounds out after everyone's kind of settled in.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is anyone else doing?
Do my parents seem to have taken an interest in specific to any one of the party, or are they just doing their own thing, being cordial?
Your father has not taken an interest in anyone just yet, though he does seem to be eyeing up Kaiser a bit. Your mother has already taken an interest in Alyssa and had words with her. And I believe she would be eyeing up Aubrey at this point.
Okay.
Aubrey is just keeping an eye on Alyssa to make sure she doesn't get into trouble.
Low key, same.
I'm having like a full-on Little Mermaid moment. Like, I'm like, what is this? As I pick up a fork and I try to brush my hair with it, and I find like a vase on the table, and I try to play it like a musical instrument. What other things are around me that I can? Basically, I'm just like, I have no idea what things are, and so I'm making up. I'm full-on Little Mermaid.
The servants are definitely side-eyeing you.
Aubrey's just kind of like cleaning up after, like, darling, that's not a brush, that's not an instrument.
Zaynab turns to Rosalia and say, Rosalia, can you perhaps show maybe Alyssa what some things are? I mean, she's, not from, she's from the forest, so, these customs are a bit foreign to her. Say that to Rosalia.
Oh, to Rosalia?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thought it was Aubrey. She says, yeah, I can take an interest. Sure. She seems quite charming.
Yeah, in her own way, yeah.
Fuck. Shady. So she will go over to Alyssa and say, do you have questions about some of the things that you're seeing?
Yeah, everything's just so shiny and fancy here.
Well, Mama and Papa do enjoy to spend a little bit of coin on the things that are in their house. After all, this is our legacy. This is what their children will inherit. So it's important to buy the right things that will last.
Do you have things that are really, really old here?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have things from prior dynasties and different cultures. The realms that have been long buried.
I've just never seen so much stuff.
Well, if you have a question about what something is, for example, that thing that you ran through your hair is a fork. It's for eating. It's for eating. It's not for brushing hair.
You eat it?
No, it's a utensil.
Oh.
Certainly you've seen utensils before.
Yeah, but I always just use my hands to eat.
Oh. Well, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what works for you, but here we do tend to use utensils. It's easier to eat certain things with a fork, isn't it? You wouldn't want to eat a nice pasta with your hands. That's not efficient, is it?
I've never had pasta.
Well, perhaps you can have some with a nice cold lunch tomorrow or something. She turns over to the under butler. She says, Harris, perhaps we could have some pasta for lunch or dinner tomorrow. What do you think? Of course, my lady, as would please you.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I like to try new things.
Harris ignores you.
Oof.
Okay. Okay.
Rosalia kind of turns away from Harris and kind of whispers to you, I'm afraid servants are always a little bit more conservative than their employers.
Oh. There seems to be so many rules.
There are, but well, everyone has to have something. No one can be completely free. Let's see here. I'm sure you have. I'm double checking something. She says, I'm sure you have rules where you're from, things that you're not allowed to do, forbidden, an oath you take, or some kind of forbidden area you're not supposed to go in.
Some, but I also have the whole forest, so there's lots of places to explore, even when I'm not allowed to go places. And usually I just go there even when I'm not supposed to. But I probably shouldn't have told you that.
Well, that's okay. We're I'm sure you and I are going to learn to be great friends if you're going to be keeping... Zane is going to be keeping you in his life.
Yeah. Zane's pretty great. He tells me when I'm supposed to curtsy, or when I'm supposed to do things, or when I'm not supposed to do things. He has to tell me a lot.
I think she'll say, I honestly think that if he tried hard enough, he'd have a better curtsy than I do. He's very talented. I look up to him.
He's very good at talking.
Yes, he is quite the charmer.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at all the pretty pictures on the wall.
Why don't I join you? And she follows you.
I'm that person at the Louvre who touched the painting, guys. That's me. That's me now.
Uh-oh.
You've become what you sought out to destroy me.
Well,
Darius, the Earl, Lord Korakai himself, stands next to you, Kaiser. Enjoying our little soiree?
As much as one can who isn't from this life, I should say.
Oh. You're a commoner.
You could say that, yeah.
I don't understand. You say you're not from this life. So that means you're not nobility, which means you're a commoner. Unless you're a convict.
Not a convict, it's just commoner might imply never mind.
Oh, you're a member of the middling class or an artisan then?
Sure.
It's just no shame in it. Some people are born into titles and lands and lose it all the same. Others are born without, have to make it for their own.
Mm-hmm.
He looks you up and down. You're a warrior.
Yes, my parents taught me all I know.
Oh, where are they from?
Waterdeep?
Splendid. The Waterdeep is the city of splendor, I think. Faye, do you know?
I mean, that sounds right. I don't know.
Yes, it is. The city of splendors. That's wonderful. And what do they do for work?
They did, I believe, at least. I'm not 100% sure, actually.
No, they weren't artisans or anything like that? They didn't fight in the war?
They fought in the war, but I'm not 100% if I really know what they did in the war.
Oh, What front were they in? I'm sure I'd know them.
They would have been direct front lines.
Oh, my God. Well, I have to say I never made it that far east. There's a lot of incursions through these mines that the Drow and their auxiliary forces used, so we mostly kept to the west and the spine of the world. Nasty business what they tried to do, plunge the world into eternal night.
Yeah. Is Felissa using a fork as a comb?
He looks over. It's all right. Lord knows we have thousands of those things.
Okay. Yeah. Have you fought in any wars?
Oh,
How
yes.
long ago?
I was a general. I was a martial commander in the War of the Silver Marches.
Oh, okay.
Settled the Western Front and defended Mirabar.
It's impressive.
It's Lord's duty. They don't, you're born into this life. You have to have a skill. You have to be of service. It's not all about running the estate and employing people. Times of war, we're expected to, well, serve the city.
Makes sense.
How do you like traveling with my son?
It's fine. He's a good spellcaster, I assume. I'm not very versed in the magics of our world, but he does his job. I do mine, and here we are.
Yes, he always had a bit of a talent for the magic. Never really trained him in it. He just seemed to know. We're all blessed. We're all born with certain blessings, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Kaiser, and I appreciate you keeping my son safe, and I hope he's kept you safe as well.
I'll keep doing what I can.
I'm sure he'll keep doing what he can. And he reaches out to shake your hand.
I'll shake his hand firmly.
He gives a very firm handshake. We'll cut there. Lucius.
I see. Lucius is wilding. No, Lucius is definitely shaken by what transpired previously. The interaction with Maya, speaking with her.
Mm-hmm.
It leads him to go through a ritual he's gone through far too many times, and he wishes he could stop. But he pulls out the razor dust. Pulls one dose set upon it. Packs the rest away into his bag of holding and back away into his things. And takes the one dose.
Alrighty. Can you roll me a d6?
Yes, I can. 6.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna check in really quick that everyone's okay with a little drug use in the game.
Sure, yeah.
Just checking in. Are we all okay?
Good.
This is what's known as an O card for those playing the game at home. Alrighty, just checking in with everyone. And back to it. So you rolled a 6. I'm going to keep that in mind for something that'll happen later. You feel the elations and feelings of razor dust. Razor dust is, let's be blunt, it is fantasy cocaine. It has some other mystical properties, which we will learn. And you do start to feel that kind of racing high that you sought. And it doesn't calm you, but it makes you even out on a different plane, you know? You go from this kind of feeling, this kind of instability, to kind of waving at a higher level. And you feel encouraged or satiated. You know, you get the feedback that you wanted.
So, since it levels him, as he's used to having at least the effect of kind of forgetting about the other issues that were troubling him at the time, he begins to write again a song that he wishes to have ready in case of the party, and he begins to think on this party that he's talked about with his friends here and the plan that's been thought out and how much the Marchion deserves what's coming.
Understood. I will say that because of the use in the writing and everything that's kind of going on, your focus is shifted. It's somewhere else. And you don't even hear the people coming up the stairs, and you're caught off guard by a knock, knock, knock on your door.
Well, with everything already put away and really nothing out, just him and his pad of paper and his quill, he'll go to the door. Yes, who is it?
It is Her Ladyship the Blade of Mirabar.
All right, then, come in and open the door.
Door opens. You see, flanked on either side by two axes of Mirabar, these kind of dwarven warriors, a tall and very well muscled woman with jet black hair that is pulled back into a very tight ponytail. She has no helmet on, but she does have a circlet, and she is wearing knight's armor that is very well polished. She has on one side a golden sword, and the other... I freaking forgot Sullen's colors. I forgot his gem.
Ruby?
That's right, it is. Okay, yes, good. So she has actually two ruby decorated swords.
So what have I done to bring such a beautiful young lady to my chambers?
She tilts her head. I'm not a young lady. I'm the Blade of Mirabar, and you'll address me as such.
My apologies. What have I done to bring the Blade of Mirabar to my chambers?
Your presence is requested to the Marchion's estate.
Under what regard? Curiosity, of course.
As an honored guest, of course.
Why, that's mighty nice of him.
A renowned bard such as yourself?
Oh, well, renowned, I mean. I guess my career has been slowly on a downfall, so the fact of getting recognition, I appreciate such as the Marchion's taste. Didn't seem he really liked me the last time I was around, though. Maybe a change of heart. Well, I suppose you won't be taking no for an answer now, will you?
We wouldn't expect that you would refuse the Lord's request. It's an honor. But he would, of course, understand if you have prior commitments. And she grips one of her blades very tightly.
But of course. I do have some commitments, so I'd prefer if we take it, make it a little bit short. But I, of course, will not turn down such an invitation from the Marchion.
Wonderful. Right this way. I'm personally escorting you.
Oh, well, all right then.
She steps aside and puts her hand out.
All right. Go with it.
She stands next to you, walking, keeping pace, and you can tell that this is someone who knows her way around not only the city, but around her armor and around a sword. She carries herself with an incredible level of strength and agility. This is a seasoned warrior who has probably killed dozens, if not over 100 men and warriors. You arrive at the Marchion State, much as I described before, except for you were brought into like the sitting room, kind of a welcoming little foyer. Not quite a dining room, not quite a living room, but a place with, a drinking table and, kind of an air of what people might smoke in there, that kind of thing. The Marchion is sitting in a chair, and he stands up when you are brought in. Ah, good. He dusts off his pants and extends a hand. Welcome.
Reach out and shake it. I say, well, this was a surprise to me, but thank you for the invitation.
Would you like a drink?
Sure, why not? Have something.
What's your choice? And he walks over to the drinking tray.
Just a small glass of wine for me today.
Red or white?
Red, please.
You hear a pop, and he pours you a small pour of red, sets it, holds it out for you so that you may take it.
Take it.
He pours himself a glass of whiskey. He sits down. Please, sit.
Take a seat.
Oh, how are you finding the great jewel of the north?
Well, it's quite lovely. I've always meant to come out to Mirabar, but never quite had a tour that took me out here. Travel a lot with my parents back in the day, and we just never found our way this far north.
Were your parents entertainers as well?
No merchants, but I would entertain along the road. Took me to many a place, all across the Sword Coast.
He perks up an ear. Merchants, were they with a trading company or were they independent?
Well, as far as I would say, probably independent. I was a bit younger back then, but I never so much had an inkling of someone bossing them around. I would go with independent. I tried to stay out of that game. I preferred my music, my shows. Performing was always a bit more interesting to me.
You much of a gambler?
Well, I try not to be, but sometimes the urges get there.
So you've played cards before? Blackjack, that sort of thing?
A couple times, yes.
Poker. Understood. Well, I don't gamble much, but I did some in my youth. I, of course, was a young noble at one point with youthful indiscretion and money to burn. You know what I learned?
What's that?
The best players bet the bank when they have a good hand. And you either go in with them or you fold. Simple as that. Now,
It's a good thing to learn.
indeed. Now, I've got a pretty good hand. I don't like to talk about my accomplishments or brag about my station, but let's just put something on the table, shall we? I am the Marchion of Mirabar. I got that way by making key alliances with powerful people. I command an army of hundreds of spies placed strategically throughout the north, and you all like to talk a lot when you're in inns.
That's a fair point. We love to talk.
You do. My spies have told me some interesting things about Zane's journey. When I met you, I had an inkling, I had a sensation, a detection. As I understand it, you've grown rather close. Is that true?
Well, I would fancy that we're friends, but close, maybe more recently, we started to grow a bit closer. Overall, with this group, it's been hard for us to really get much of a word in. We've been in so many different encounters and fights dealing with the Zentarim and, well, far between giants, crazy adventures. Many a story to tell, but overall I say that would make us rather close, though I don't know that much about Zane.
No. Not many do. In fact, I probably know him better than you do. There's parts of him I know better than he even knows himself. That's a topic for another time. Listen, you're a bard, and I've heard stories of the kinds of things bards get up to. So, how about you do me a favor, if you wish to earn not only my gratitude, but my support in whatever it is you have going on with the Harpers.
Oh, I see. So you do have ears around, don't you?
You have no idea. And
Oh.
when he does that, he puts his hand on his chin on his hand, and you can see a ring that has this eye. You can see it almost move.
Well, let's hear this bargain then, I suppose. It seems you know a lot more about me than I know about you. It puts me at a disadvantage. Might as well hear at least your terms, but I'd love to know a little bit more about who's employing my services.
Listen, I used to be young. I know what it's like to be controlled and dominated by one's passions. But what Zane is doing is going to put himself in harm's way. I can't have him reuniting or having a union with his intended. So, I'm asking you to preoccupy him. Seduce him. Take his heart somewhere else. Wherever it is, make sure it's out of Mirabar.
Well, I know we don't intend to stay long, so I don't think you have to be too incredibly worried about such a thing. But, if it makes you more comfortable, I will do my best. I will say, I know it's intended that we're going to have some form of, party whilst in town, and I hope that you'll come, but I understand if the intended you want to stay at home. Zane, of course, will be at that party.
Why on earth would I come to a party hosted by you?
Well, I'm sure you would want to come to show face. I mean, it's not entirely hosted by me. I'm sure the family has something. I have not been over there with them, so I don't know the reason for said party, but I know there's something coming since Zane has returned.
He looks away. The Countess and the Earl mean to host a party.
Yes, I suppose so. But, of course, it's not a bad way to keep Zane distracted, is it?
No.
He'll have to entertain guests. So I'll make sure that he has to be there. I'll do that for you.
Wonderful. And he leans in. He says, I may not be able to dispense of Zane, either covertly or overtly, without causing a civil war in this city. He's protected until he really steps out of the line. But you're just a disgraced bard from nowhere. Questionable lineage. So, do this for me, and I'll make you a lord. You can have any inheritance that I can grant you, which I promise you not only comes with considerable land and title, but money and wealth. You don't have to care about the Harpers. They'll have to come to you for services.
Well, you see, the problem is I don't right care about the Harpers. That's where your intel maybe has gone wrong.
Fine. And accept the title, land, and money when you do me this service. You'll never have to work a day in your life, and you'll always be safe. But deny me this request. He stands up. And well, I may not be able to dispense of Zane.
But you can dispense of me, alright, I got it. But threats don't do so well on me. I do appreciate overall the sentiment, and of course I'm not trying to lose my head. So I will help you with, but just know that I will not harm Zane, and if any harm come to Zane, you'll unfortunately have to face, well, it's not me you should be worried about. And if your spies were really that good, you would know what should worry you about messing with me. Now, I will admit, you do have the position of power here. I'm not going to take that from you. I am saying, don't feel too comfortable. If you want me to take care of Zane here, not allow him to go after your daughter, then I will make sure that this party happens. You should attend as well to save face. Make her stay home. Zane will be there. That'll probably be the last time we're in your city. But these are my terms. You can pay me afterwards, but Zane will not have an opportunity to go.
I want you to
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to roll either persuasion or deception, depending on if you are honestly going to try to follow through on the mission or dishonestly try to follow through on the mission. Because I'm assuming you're using the promise as an advantage, but it's ultimately a deception.
Yeah.
But it's leverage to get him to the party.
I would say that somewhat. He cares most about getting him to the party more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's no lie in that part. That is ultimately 100% his goal.
Right.
I'll roll a persuasion, because he's just trying to convince him to go.
Well, to clarify, what he's wondering is if you're honest about actually trying to seduce Zane on behalf of him.
Okay.
Or is that just a ploy to get him to the party? That's deception if you're not earnestly going to follow through in the mission.
We'll go deception.
Yeah, there it is.
27.
Let me double check, but I believe you are good. Yeah. He looks at you. All right. Yeah, that was easy enough. I'll be at your party, and I expect to see you making progress and coming through on our deal.
Look, it'll be easy enough. I've written a song for Zane himself. Make sure you're there to witness it.
I'll be in the front row.
All right, I'll see you there.
He tightens his shirt and walks away. As he does, there's a kind of movement in the shadow, but you can't quite make it out. And he exits the room.
Stand and walk out.
So, as you try to leave, the world that you enter is not the one that you remember. Because you are, by rolling a 6, overcome with paranoia. Tell me, I need you to walk me through something. What does Mirabar look like to paranoid Lucius? What are the fears that get realized?
As I'm walking through, every alley seems to have someone watching me. Every sign that looks even remotely like a snake or like a harp bears the signal of a Zentrim or Harper agent.
Oh.
Every single flame has the eyes of a creature within it. As I make my way through these streets of Mirabar, trying to find my way towards the address that was given to me by Zane of his family's home.
I'm gonna say make a perception check with disadvantage.
Makes sense to be paranoid considering you said he had spies everywhere.
God, it's real not great, y'all. Okay.
16.
16.
Not bad. 16.
Not bad.
It takes you a very long time, and I'm going to say that you arrive at an inopportune moment, which means it's after everyone's gone to bed. Okay. We can cut back to the party. So the next scene I was going to do is the lady, the Countess, talking to Aubrey. Is there anything else anyone wishes to do?
After that, probably.
Okay. So, the Countess comes up to you, lady Why am I so bad with? Because I didn't write the names myself. Isabel. She comes up to you in her very, delicate gown and figure. She's like, we haven't really had much chance to talk. Miss Harper?
Yes.
Oh.
That is my name. Aubrey Harper.
So you're unmarried?
Currently, yes. I was married, but unfortunately my husband passed away.
I do apologize, Mrs. Harper, if you are a widow. So, Zane tells me that you're some kind of scientist?
I suppose that's a word that you can use. Scientist, craftswoman, all sorts of things.
It's wonderful. I heard Kaiser referred to you as a Terminator? I thought that was an interesting phrase.
Yes, I don't quite understand where that phrase comes from. I suppose I have been rather helpful out in the wilds out there when we've had fights and battles and such.
I understand it's some kind of automaton he's read about in one of his many books. He's very well learned.
Oh, yes. I'm able to... I could show you if you want.
Oh, not here in my sitting room, but perhaps out on the grounds tomorrow you can give us a demonstration.
Sure.
That could be terribly exciting. So how are you liking the home? Are you comfortable here?
Oh, it's very lovely. It's a bit more than I'm used to, I suppose. I don't come from such a background, but it's a nice house. It's a nice home.
Wonderful. Well, I've already pledged one of your party members to ensure that Zane is protected, and I have no shame in asking the same of you. I do hope you'll defend him and protect him as he would protect you.
Of course. I will do my best to not.
Good. So where are you from?
I grew up and lived in Waterdeep for most of my life. Well, I suppose almost half of my life at this point. And then when I got married, I moved with my husband down to very, very far south, down to the island of Lantan, if you know that, if you've heard of it.
I've read about it. They say that they have buildings there that can get up and walk. The buildings with legs, as I've read.
It's a very interesting place. That's where the Artificial Guild is from.
Oh, thank you. Welcome to the party for the raid. Thank you. It's so great to see y'all. She says, but of course that was prior to the flooding or the cataclysm that severely diminished the island's capabilities.
So, a pretty wonderful place, to be honest. Having so many craftspeople there, as well as Artificial Guild. There's all sorts of things that happen.
There's plenty of crafters here, mostly jewel crafters and smiths, but I'm sure you could learn something and perhaps probably teach people many things here.
Perhaps. I'm always willing to learn more about different crafts. Both my parents, my father was a blacksmith, my mother was a seamstress, so I've grown up around craft people my entire life.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. I think it's great that you can have a skill and live your own life. I'm sorry that you lost your husband. It's priori. It's dice priori. It's Latin for choice. I don't know. I didn't name the damn channel. Anyway. That's responding to a viewer. Anyway. Thank you for the raid. Be sure to follow if you aren't already, folks. Subscribe if you can. Thanks so much. Continuing on. It's difficult times out there. There's been so many lives lost.
It has. It's been quite a lot out there. We've been part of some of it. Saved as many as we can, but definitely seems like war is happening.
think it is war again. I suppose I'll have to brush up on some of my skills.
Perhaps. If it comes as far as Mirabar, who knows?
Oh, I'm sure it will. Mirabar is the jewel of the north. So it goes, so goes the frontier. She says, well, it's getting late. It's almost time to turn in. I'll see you in the morning, and I can't wait to see your Terminator demonstration.
Of course. Thank you for the lovely evening.
Thank you for being here. Crone, you said you had a scene?
Yeah. I guess just with Rosalia, though, on the balcony later.
Okay.
After things wind down.
Alrighty. Is there anything else anyone wishes to do before the balcony scene? Alrighty. Y'all do something while I just get up real quick. I'm going to take a quick little... I'm just going to step away for a second, okay? I'm going to get more whiskey. Let's take it. We're just going to take like a little 5-minute break. We'll be right back, folks. Okay, we're back. Just had to take a quick little breather there, folks. These me and May are the only people who are not hardcore esports nerds. I don't know. May's like, what did I do?
I'm too old for that shit.
Correct, yeah. So I think we'll jump in and do the scene where the balcony. So it's late at night, and everyone's kind of at least put their head down, and you meet your sister out at the balcony, overlooking the foregrounds, hedge mazes and fountains and the like. A very beautiful estate, to say the least. What do you say? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I find Rosalia and just go up towards next to her. Say, hello, I thank you again for meeting. It's been a while since I have been home. It is good to see you again, and the rest of the family.
This is it. She smiles. It's really great to have you home, Zane. Father and mother have missed Papa and mother have missed you very much, and so have I.
Yeah, I wrote a time, I think. Did you get the letter?
I did. I'm sorry I didn't write back. I wasn't sure what to say.
No, it is okay. I just wondered if you received it or if someone was intercepting letters or something of the sort.
No. I thought it was a beautiful letter, and I loved your farewell address as well, of course.
Oh, thank you. It was quite the interesting return I had to Mirabar. The Marchion was the first person that I ran into, and of course, as you know, with Eraki and he very explicitly forbid me to see her, but part of me still very much wants to.
She's just like, oh, Zane. Of course you want to see her.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the smart thing is to not, but if I do not, perhaps the next time as I am here, it will be too late. The Marchion plans to wed her soon. I mean, I don't know. It's very crazy, but my friends and I had discussed perhaps at least the beginnings of a plan to not have this to happen. It's a rather long story, but essentially it involves a party and he will be there and someone who we have met along the way who is now here in Mirabar that can modify people's memories, and perhaps they have a little run-in. It's rather confusing, challenging, of course, and I don't even know if I want to do it, but yeah, just tell me it's a bad plan.
You're going to modify the memory of the Marchion?
Myself? No. Someone that we know? Perhaps.
Say. Do you even know if... Do you even know if she still wants to see you? Her suitor's quite handsome.
Is he now? Who is her suitor?
It's me.
God damn it. If you can believe it, it is Rainier Neverember.
Neverember? Really?
Yes. The said inheritor of Neverwinter.
I mean, I don't know. I would hope. I mean, I've received word from her recently, and it seemed to indicate she still expressed some interest.
Selin plans to marry them so that he can restore Rainier's family to what he considers to be their rightful place at the top of Neverwinter society. And then he would have Neverwinter and Mirabar firmly under his control.
Yes, of course. He wants to grow his power. He wants to wed Eriki off for political purposes, and I mean, he has many wants, Selene. He has many wants. Not all of them he will get. I can't stop him from getting everything, but perhaps I could stop him from just this one. Just one.
She kind of looks out into the cool midnight sky. You want me to tell you it's a bad plan?
I mean...
or are you just looking for permission?
I want you to be honest with me. I've done a lot of... I don't know, you could call it soul searching or something of the sort. When I've been out adventuring, it's been a good change of pace, I think, from all of this politics. But here I am, and I am dragged back into it, and I cannot help but feel a sort of responsibility to you, to myself, to this family, to where we want to be, to where mother and father, to where they want to be at the top. I know we are not quite there, but I think we could be.
I've always supported your endeavors, and I've always thought you were the best among us. Modifying his memory is pretty extreme. But I don't know. Maybe you're right. No, I think you're right. Just this one, he shouldn't get.
Did you? Sorry, maybe there was some wind. Did you say I was right about this?
I'm saying he shouldn't get everything. He's got enough, and this one we can take.
Maybe it could work. Maybe from some crazy way, some string of events, it could work.
He's very well protected.
Very much so, yes. Very much so. I mean, not going to just blindly throw what we have at him, and if it doesn't work out, then, you know, we are doomed. I am doomed. It could gauge the success of it, I suppose, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but if it does. I mean, we both stand to gain from it, I think. All of Mirabar stands to gain from it.
I think that's important. But I don't think that's why you're doing it. She kind of looks back to you.
No?
In your heart, you've always been about love, romance, caring for others. You only fight this hard for people you care about. She shouldn't have to live under his dictates, excuse me. She should be able to marry whoever she wants. That should be her choice. That's why I'm gonna support you. Help you if I can.
Zane takes a long few moments, just kind of looks off into the night as she did earlier, and eventually looks back to her and says, "Perhaps you are right about that as well. I do care about, I love her. I do."
Of course you do.
This could go horribly wrong.
You'll just be a fugitive. It's not the worst thing.
Worst case scenario, yeah, fugitive or dead, I suppose.
Dad won't let him kill you. Not on the spot.
He would try, perhaps, but maybe not. I don't know.
It'll be our party. Our house guard will be there, won't they?
True. Yeah. Speaking of which, what occasion could this party be for? I have no idea.
Well, I'm scheming here. It's not... You haven't really conquered anything. We can't host a triumph in your honor. But we could request a recognition for your accomplishments and host a party in that honor. You do have treaties that you've brought.
I do, yeah.
And we could demand a celebration on that behalf.
Yeah, I mean, that's good work, yeah. We've acquired treaties. We have defeated a lot of things, a lot of giants. That maybe is due for in recognition of accomplishment, perhaps.
The nobles, the glittering council, the gleaming council, and the nobles here don't care about giants.
Yeah, I know. It's, yeah, okay.
But you've done enough. I think we can host a small party in your honor and invite the Marchion, and he'll have to show his face, I think.
That is the hope, at least. I mean, it would be expected of him, but the Marchion is the Marchion. He does what he wants.
Right. Well, we'll invite him, and we'll see what happens.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Again, I've said that a lot, but yeah. Perhaps tomorrow I'll discuss further with my companions and get back to you. There's a lot of things that have to go into this if it is to work, so... And do you know, the person who came here recently saying that I sent him a Lemmy, does he use that name? The new cobbler?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, he's hideous. Well, not, physically. I'm saying his personality.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, where is his shop?
She looks at you. He's not the mind guy, is he? Don't try to lie to me. I can see it.
He yeah, that is him. He owes us a favor.
Oh my God, I think I commissioned some red bottoms from him.
These are bloody shoes.
He does make good shoes, yes. Very, very talented in his work.
Ruby red bottoms, baby. She points you to his address. Fucking Cobbler Lane bullshit. Who cares?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to speak with him as well at some point. But yeah, I will check back in with you tomorrow night, perhaps. If maybe you can, if you might. I know I've already asked a lot, but talk to our parents about it. I mean, I will mention it, of course, but try to get sort of the planning of, who will attend, the invitations.
Oh,
all of that.
mother can handle all of that. We should work with her. And as she looks down, she's like, "Is there someone down there?" And right around that time, Lucius, you stumble around to the back.
Stumbles in with a bottle of wine.
Well, you're in the backyard looking for the door, and they can see you down from the balcony.
Just probably singing some awful tune.
Let me see if I can find the Casanova song.
Lucius? Is that you?
Zane, my boy.
What the fuck is this music?
Casanova coming drunk. Drunk.
I know you've been waiting for me all day. It's alright. I'm here now.
Oh my. Do you know what time it is?
I don't know, and I don't care. I've had quite the day. Please let me inside.
Yeah. Zane turns to Rosalia. Just with like a yikes look in his eyes, like, yeah, is he last of my companions? This is Lucius. He appears to have a lot to drink. Let's go bring him in so nobody really notices.
Oh, yeah. And they're able to usher you in sneakily.
So, how have you been, buddy?
How's
your night going?
It has been going rather normally, unlike yours, I assume. What have you gotten yourself up to?
Not normal at all. We'll have to talk later. I start to walk away and I cast Sending on Zane. So I cast Sending and I say, the Marchion spoke to me. He's watching us always. For a long time now. He will come to whatever party you throw, but make it happen. And that's probably close to...
That's 25, exactly.
Zane will respond, understood. You're also walking away from the bedrooms, turn around and go 3 doors to the left, and that's all.
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
We'll stop. Oh, it seems as though I'm going away from the bedrooms here. Well, Zane, could you direct me to those?
Yeah, I could. Good night, Rosalia. Yeah, it's rather late. I need to be getting some rest as well.
She kind of
Formal introductions tomorrow, I suppose.
She side eyes you a little bit. She says, "Good night. It's nice to meet you, Lucius."
Pleasure to meet you.
She walks away.
Just lead Lucius to a spare guest room.
Okay.
Say, here you are. We'll talk in the morning.
Very well. Good night, Zane.
You as well. If there's anything you need, let me know. My room is over there.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Zane walks away.
All right, in the middle of the night,
This is the middle of the night, yeah?
I will go to Zane's room.
Okay.
Ooh.
I will enter the room. I will find a chair. And I will cast Sending? Does it not work on unconscious people? I think I would know that, right?
It'll work on him.
Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll cast it on him. The Marchion wants me to seduce you.
Jesus.
Subtle.
I've entered your room in case we're being watched. I'm going to stay here, but I doubt they're watching further.
You should make some noises to distract them further.
It's
To fully
best
sell
if
it.
we play along during the party. At least until we get him to Lenny.
So I hear this in my dreams, in my sleep.
It wakes you up.
And you see Lucius sitting with his legs crossed, like one of his legs crossed against the front, sitting in one of the chair in the room, just kind of rocked back into the chair.
Same kind of like at first, like slowly gets up, just like what was that, and then sees Lucius and just like bolts, like sits up. Good morning. Is what? Then he like replied to the message. Let's see. Seduce? What do you? And then wait, I didn't quite catch all of that. Sleeping and all.
I'll use one more, and I'll say, don't worry too much about it. We just need Lemmy for this party. It will all come together soon. Marchion is not someone I very much enjoy.
San replies, me neither. Yeah, I'm planning on seeing Lemmy tomorrow. Should we not talk in the open?
I will whisper in a low voice in the room. I don't know the reach of his spying capabilities. I have the pendant, so no divination is on me now. But I don't know which ones of your servants may be under his influence. I need to speak to Lemmy as well. But I have a good plan to get the Marchion to Lemmy if we have the party started.
Zane just nods.
Good night, Zane. And Lucius will attempt to sleep in this chair.
Bro, they're not gonna believe it. Y'all ain't making no noise.
Oh
You're
my
just gonna let him sleep in that chair all night long?
Yeah,
Can't
Tom-
even play. I bet it's a big ass bed
Sketchy.
too. Won't even share it.
Tom, Tom, could you please do those noises? What two men?
Oh,
That's not how it sounds. I gotta be honest with you, Chief. You sound like you have gout.
I'm just exaggerating.
Zane just looks at Lucius for like 10-15 seconds, just like there is like a bit of a comfier armchair couch thing over there in the corner. If you want that instead, or
Oh, thank God I only saw this one, and I thought you were gonna let me sleep here all night. I did the comfier armchair thing.
I know you're drunk, but perhaps not quite that drunk.
Oh no, I'm only pretending. I'm quite fine.
Merely pretending.
Oh, okay. You are quite an actor.
Sorry, chat. Anyway, we can go ahead and call that scene there. If you two are okay. The morning comes, but Zane does not. And you all rise in the estate of the Count. The Countess, excuse me, and the Earl.
Yup.
What do you wish to do?
When Kaiser wakes up, he would kind of just wander the halls and look at all of the, I assume, paintings and murals of Zane's family and other things.
Beautiful paintings, very stately, very, very lifelike.
Yeah. Very early on, I will sneak a walk of shame back to my quarters. And then eventually emerge from there as well.
When you do that, you see one of the servants look at you, probably a maid or a maid, or perhaps even one of the butlers, and they give you quite the look, but then they look away. What do you all wish to do?
Sometime later, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, Zane will, get dressed, go out, and attempt to convene with everybody in like a not the sitting room, but a kind of like little office room, I suppose, a like work study room. That's kind of like off, not like widely used by many people.
Alrighty.
Yeah, trying to gather everybody there.
Who would have just found me wandering the halls and
Yeah. So, guys, how are you finding the key?
it is very large. One can get lost in here very easily.
Yeah, I suppose so. If you are new to it, yeah. Well, yeah, there are a couple of things to discuss, I suppose. And once we all get into the room, Zane will say in a hushed voice, can any of you, make it so that people outside of this room can't hear us?
I have a sword.
How does that work? Kaiser.
I don't respond.
Well, I suppose just try to keep our tone down. Just kind of look to Lucius for a second and then say, yeah, so about this party, is this something that we wanted to go through with?
Well, I believe you deserve such a party, yes? You've performed admirably on our journeys, and we need to celebrate such a thing now, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. Talked to my sister a bit last night as dinner winded down, and she agreed with that sentiment. I have to notify, everyone to try to make the efforts of this party work out well. My parents will make the necessary preparations and invitations and something of the sort if this party does happen.
And do they agree that it's time to really change the sentiment around you in this city, trying to, shine you in a better light? Or are they not aware of such a thing?
No, they are aware. I don't really know quite the extent of how they feel about it. I mean, I suppose I can try to have that discussion. I kind of avoided it before I left. I mean, yeah.
Well, no matter. Well, I know a good party, and what you need for a good party is a good designer. Now, I know we know one. Very creative mind. Quite incredible. I think we should have a discussion with him. Bring him on board.
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
Okay. Oh, Kaiser, you're a designer.
I fancy myself an architect.
Oh. Have
Now,
you...
I'll make sure to handle the music. And
of course.
have someone handle the refreshments and all of that. And we'll make sure we get a designer for the decorations. Now, we should have a meeting with such a person. I believe he designed your shoes, Kaiser.
All right, fine, sure.
Look, if you want to help him with the
Nah,
design
I don't
of the
want to do it
party, go
anyway. Let's just
ahead.
go.
Should we all go have a meeting with this designer? You know, maybe we can give our input into all of these things that we want in this party.
Yes, I'll of course talk to the designer when he gets here, ready to set everything up. But I suppose overall we don't need to all go. As many as you that want probably can. I'll stick
okay.
around, make sure we have a stage set up, something all nice and pretty for the reception of this party.
I need to go somewhere else. I won't be going to the cobbler.
Oh. All right. Just make sure we're all safe. Make sure we're all.
I'll go with you. I want new shoes.
Very well.
Okay, I mean, I suppose I will stay around here. I guess I leave that task to you, Lucius,
Oh, wait.
and I will. Oh, and Elisa, if you want to go as well.
Wait, no, I thought
Oh,
Lucius
I had
wasn't
planned
going.
to stay to set things up, but if you would like to
Oh.
stick around,
No,
Zane, I can
that's-
very well go fetch our designer. Of course, party planning should very well fall into my wheelhouse, so I don't
Yeah,
mind
no,
going
you
myself.
are. No, you are correct. You are good at planning parties. I just kind of attend them. I never really plans them. Yeah, I could go with Elisa. Yeah. Aubrey, do you have what did you want to do?
Oh, I had a little bit of shopping to do for some things that Kaiser has requested.
Shopping. Okay, that
Do
sounds
you,
exciting.
Do you want a coin for that? Or?
No, I've got it. Don't worry about it. There's some other things I should probably buy as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. If there's anything you need me to get for the party, I can also do that, why not?
Zane, I am realizing that I may need to have a discussion with the designer as I tug on the necklace that I'm wearing, which is the
Proof against
proof against
detection.
detection. And I say, how about I just give you a list of things that I need set up for my stage and my performance here, and I'll go have a meeting with him.
Yeah,
I
that's-
trust that you'll be able to handle anything around here.
This is quite a roller coaster of yeah. Okay, you can do that. I will set things up, and then Kaiser does. Kaiser, what are you doing? Or going to do?
There is a thing I need to check out.
What thing?
It's regards
That
to
may
the
be the most suspicious thing I've ever heard in my life.
And
Carry
that's
on,
coming from
Kaiser.
Lucius. That is.
Look, I've done some things. All right, I'll take that one.
I thought we weren't hiding things.
It
from each
is
other.
in regards to the wrist thing that I got from the weevil.
Ah, I see.
Oh.
Well, very well.
Thanks.
I would be very careful. Going out on your own can be quite dangerous, and just be very careful.
All right.
Yep, we should all be careful. I think. I suppose.
I walk out.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
After your morning meeting and at breakfast, you're all able to part ways and do what it is that you wish to do. Who would like to do their thing?
Don't everybody raise their hand at once.
I'd say will go to find his mother and say, Mother, has Rosalia talked to you at all about anything about a party?
She said. She says she did. She mentioned that she wanted to host something, and I'm all for that. A little bit to the last minute, but we can have something thrown together by this evening or tomorrow, if you wish.
Yeah, I think perhaps tomorrow, and then I did not plan to stay for long, so probably just a tomorrow afternoon, evening thing, and then perhaps can be on my way back on the roads, perhaps even that night, but maybe even later the next day, the next morning.
That's perfectly fine. We, of course, always intended to throw a little bit of a celebration, but inviting of course, you've done a great deal of things since you've been away. Inviting the Marchion wasn't exactly on our list, but we found that suggestion surprising. Are you comfortable inviting the Marchion?
Yes, I think so. I had a brief meeting with the Marchion.
Oh, we heard.
Yeah, indeed. But I think that inviting him shows that I am perhaps not scared of him. You know, I can invite him just as plainly, just as smoothly, as calmly as the rest of them. And of course, he'll be expected, I suppose, to attend. So that should be that.
I believe for this occasion, honor and dignity binds him to attend, but he might weasel out of it.
Perhaps.
But we will extend a proper formal invitation nonetheless. I'm looking forward to it. I always cherish the moments where I can celebrate my children.
Yes, thank you. Sorry it has to be such a short meeting, a hastily put together party, but there are still many things that will hopefully make you very proud in the near future.
I already am very proud of you.
Thank you.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek and she says, now, don't worry anything. I've got it all handled. It'll be a wonderful party. Lucius has already volunteered to be the musician, so that's all handled. And I think it'll be a wonderful affair.
I am hoping for it to be, yeah. I suppose it's been a while since I've attended a formal event, but I'm sure I will get back right into the swing of things.
Of course. So, go enjoy your day. Let me handle everything.
Okay. Thank you.
She bids you adieu.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Kaiser will. Kaiser's going to do two things.
Yeah?
First things first. He'll go to the town, right? Town of Mirabar, the actual town.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just gonna walk up to, seems to be a random guard, and ask, do you have a temple to the All Light, Everlight? Yeah.
He kind of looks at you. I'm sorry.
If you have it, that's fine.
You're asking about the Dawnflower.
Perhaps.
We certainly do. Are you looking to worship the Everlight?
Not particularly. I just wanted to kind of look at the church if I could.
There is, of course, a temple that has monuments to many gods, not necessarily dedicated one to herself, but yes.
Thank you.
He shows you. He kind of, instructs you how to get there.
Thank you. He will go to said church, or temple, I should say. What does it look like, Matthew?
So this would be a church of multiple denominations. It has a bit. It has a statue, kind of like in Skyrim, for each of the major deities. The Everlight is present. Sarenrae is her name. It's a beautiful statue. I believe. Let me double check. Sarenrae is often depicted as kind of an angelic figure with this kind of crown of light and wings, a feminine form with outstretched hands. Yeah. You could see a cleric standing next to the thing. It says, "Have you come to?" I see a little bit a woman. She says, "Have you come to worship the Dawnflower?"
Sorry. I had a curiosity, and I just wanted to see.
What sparked your curiosity?
Family trouble.
Oh. Well. She says, Taranrake teaches us compassion for those who have wronged us, and that redemption is always possible. Has one of yours fallen out of the faith or wronged you?
You could say that, yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hold compassion in your heart and be ready to forgive in time. These are the tenets of the Dawnflower.
Mm-hmm. Is there an amulet or it's something I could have or hold?
Certainly. She turns around and holds out kind of a simple necklace of the angelic figure, and she's like, "Would you like to adorn it?"
Yes.
She settles it on your neck, and may this light carry you through even the darkest of places.
Hopefully it will. And I'll walk out. And then
Go ahead.
number 2 here. Unless you said something to me.
No, you're good.
Okay. Number 2, I would look for a tailor or fitter.
Okay.
I walk in that bitch.
Okay, you're in there. You in that bitch.
I have no really understanding of noble dress or anything like that, but I have a decent amount of money, and this might help my friend, so...
The tailor kind of beats their eyes at you. I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Yes, sorry.
Understood. What is it that you need help with?
I need a suit or some sort of noble guard for a party.
A party, a formal occasion then.
Yes.
All right. We can get you some tails, as is, and then some. We'll jewel them as in fashion in Mirabar. When did you need them by?
How fast is the fastest possibility?
We'll get you them by the end of the day, but it's going to cost you.
That is fine.
Oh, man of means. You don't look it.
That's why I'm here.
Understood. Allow me to get your measurements. You're quite strapping.
I'll T-pose for him.
Alrighty. They get your measurements, and then come back around 4 or 5 o'clock. We'll have it ready.
Thank you.
You could expect the charge to be about 35 gold.
Big money.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll head back to Zane's house.
You head back to the estate. Is there anything else anyone wishes to do?
Going to see my best friend. Let me do shoes.
I was gonna say, who's your best friend, you snake?
My very best friend.
Okay. Let me
I think
too.
Alyssa said she was coming with. I believe
I'm coming with. I want some shoes.
I've got Alyssa.
Red bottoms. Okay.
So as we
I gotta
make
make
our
sure.
way, I will say to Alyssa, I have reason to believe that we may be followed around while we do anything here, Alyssa. If you could keep an eye out for us, that would be vastly appreciated.
I can do that. Who do you think's following us?
I believe the Marchion has eyes everywhere.
I mean, do you want me to like hide?
Entirely up to you. Just
Oh, fuck.
anyone is watching us. That's all.
Okay, I think I can do that. I'll make sure that no one's watching us. Did you tell me this before or after we leave?
Right before we leave.
And how far away are we?
I have no idea.
As far as you'd like to be.
All right, well, maybe I guess if you're saying it to as we're setting out.
Yeah, as we're setting out,
All
just
right.
gonna
Well,
just
do you
kinda
want
whisper to you.
me- How about I have an idea? I have a really good idea. Let's try this, and you go, and I will meet you at Lenny's, but I'm just following you. I'm turning into a cat, and then I turn into a cat. Like, I have a really good idea. Hold on, let's just try this. I'll make sure that no one's following us, and I turn
I'm
into
just
a cat.
Ah, I see. Well, I thought I'd have a companion on this journey, but well, that'll have to do. Anyways,
Wow.
take off.
Alrighty. So you're going to the Lemmy Two Shoes, Alyssa. Alyssa, where are you going?
I'm going to Let Me Two Shoes, but I'm following 20, 30 feet behind in cat form, slink into the shadows. Little black cat.
What's the best cat meme these days? Is cool cat still in vogue, people?
Nope.
No idea.
I'm so old. I'm such a boomer when it comes to Twitch. Is cool cat? Do people still use Kappa? Okay, so you're
Hatpa.
Kappa. All right, back in my day, that emote was cool.
Kappa's always cool.
I'm gonna be honest. That Soak It Whiskey did me in. We're gonna keep going. So both of you are heading in towards Lemmy Two Shoes. You're a cat, Alyssa. Lucius, you
I am
are
not a cat.
You're not a cat. You are
not a cat.
not a cat. Okay, so you were able to enter the shop. I don't know. It's a nice little kind of stone shop that's I feel like it's an upgrade. I feel like he's doing better.
Did anybody follow us though?
Roll
Oh yeah.
in perception check first of all.
A perception check.
Yeah, boomer, really, Miwa. Police my language.
I don't know why I'm on roll 20. Hold on. Sorry.
You're not on roll 20.
I feel like sometimes I get in this loop where I think I'm logging in, but then I don't actually do it.
I get that all the time.
Oh. Okay.
A lot of
That's
time.
not great.
7. That's a miss.
10. That's 10 though. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
That is a miss. No one is following you.
Okay.
You good?
On arriving, we'll go in and speak to Lemmy and I'll say, "Oh, what a pleasure finding you here."
Lemmy, for anyone who's forgotten, is this kind of very tall and lanky and lithe. I believe he's kind of elvish and has very pale skin with these kind of arcane writ tattoos. Very pale skin, bald hair, very long ears, kind of long, almost claw-like fingers. Oh, It isn't my favorite musician. This side of the spine of the world. How can I help you, Lucius?
I'll say, well, of course, I wouldn't be right to greet my friend without a hug, and I'll walk forward to kind of lean in, and as I lean in closer to him, I'll just whisper, we need to call in that favor.
What's with the cloak and dagger? Afraid we're being watched.
Just a precaution.
He smiles and leans into his desk, puts on his spectacles, looks around the shop. We are clear. We're in the clear.
I hop on the desk.
Oh, goodness. And he swats the cat away.
Meow!
Ugh, filthy animals.
Oh, don't mind her. You've met her before. Anyways. Well, if we may speak freely.
Go ahead.
No longer need your help with the Zentarim, but I figure there's one thing that you can do for us.
Oh, is there?
I will say it's a bit of a big favor. I'm happy to compensate you more if you need it, but I feel as though you set up rather nicely up here.
It does have its benefits. People ask for a lot of bedazzled shoes. It's kind of fun to make.
Yes, well, we've got a bit of an issue, and you have the perfect skill set to deal with such a thing.
Need someone to forget something, or need someone to be a little more obedient, is it?
Bit more open-minded, I would say.
You want to change the way someone views something.
That would, in fact, be the case. All we really require of you is to attend a party. I'm not sure if that's your crowd, but you attend the party, kind of stow away for a little bit at a certain hour, and we'll bring the target to you. If we can't bring the target to you, well, we don't need to call in the favor because, well, it's kind of a tricky plan.
Who's the target?
Well,
I've been at this game a lot longer than you have.
you're not going to like it.
Didn't think I would, otherwise you'd just call them by their name.
I suppose we can trust you. To an extent.
You can't trust me. But
Well, you know what I mean.
I'll honor our deal.
The target is the Marchion.
Of course it is. You lot are manifestly deranged.
I take that as a compliment. But it's tricky. What we need you to do is make the Marchion think favorably upon Zane. So much so that he would allow Zane to propose and potentially wed his daughter.
That's an awful lot to ask.
As I said, I can make it worth your while.
You see him kind of look around. And you can get to the Marchion. You can get the Marchion to me in a docile state.
I would
Isolated.
say there's about a 50-50 chance I can, but on the offset, then there's no risk. And we will just have to fold the plans. It's more of an opportunity than it is assuredly.
He's pretty well guarded.
Yes, I'm confident that if successful, I can easily bring him to you in an unguarded state. Now, I have a few things I could potentially trade if they interest you, or gold if that's the matter. Or if you find that this is not as hard of a task as I may make it out to be, of course we will accept what is previously owed, but I understand that this may be a little bit harder than what was previously offered.
You see him kind of wonder for a bit, and he scratches his chin. No, there's no need for all that. I'm in for this, in for a penny, in for a pound, what have you. I'll do this for you. That's fine.
I will cast Sending on him as this is happening. If it works, I don't know if he's going to allow it to come in, but I will say...
He'll allow it.
I will say one more thing, and don't tell the others. It would be very pleasant to me if the Marchion came down with a crippling addiction for razor dust. But throw that in at the end. The other part is much more important.
He will respond. That's a little dodgy even for me, but I'll consider it.
It's not required. I say out loud with no context.
He just kind of gives you a crooked smile. A Marchion. Well, I look forward to attending a splendid party, at least. I'll await my invitation.
Yes, of course, we'll make sure it's sent. You're coming under the guise of a designer, someone who has helped us decorate, and a treasured friend and shoemaker.
Works for me. I am a designer.
And that's what I told the rest of them. I respect your designs more than anything, Lemmy. Eventually, one of these days, I'm going to need a pair of shoes from you.
As long as you pay, I'll make them.
And of course, I will pay. Now, Alyssa, still a cat, I presume. I know you did want a pair of shoes, so that would probably be the time to make your order.
He looks down at the cat and telepathically communicates. What is it that you'd like to order today, little miss?
What are those bedazzled shoes you talked about?
Shoes with gems. This is the
I
jewel
want
of
those.
the... Okay. Do you want them to actually do something, or do you just want shiny shoes?
No, they should do something.
Like what?
Let me think about this.
Oh my god.
Can they make it so that you can't, when I wear them, you can't hear them?
Oh yes, that's easy.
I want that, please.
Alright. Do you want a heel, a boot, a shoe, a Converse? What are we talking about here?
A boot, please.
Alright, stomping boots or more functional?
More functional boots.
All
Like a
right.
heeled boot. A heeled bootie.
Something for a woman of the frontier.
Yes.
Excellent. Cowboy boots coming up.
Okay, I have no idea what that is. Okay.
Lights down low.
I have a different kind of red bottom.
Yep. He says, it's going to take me a little bit of time. 48 hours? 2 days?
Can you bring them to the party?
No, that's in 24 hours. I don't know that yet, but once that
Time's
information is
weird.
I
introduced...
probably gave him some kind
Yeah.
of time frame.
A day after the party, how about that?
Well, okay. I say okay. Meow.
He's telepathically communicating.
I
with you.
know.
He says, wonderful. I've already done business with you, so you can just pay for them once I'm done.
Meow.
Bye-bye. Get your feline form out of here, would you?
Yes, we'll see you for the party, Lemmy, my great pal.
Can't wait.
All right. We'll exit the shop.
I cat pee on his door as soon as we're out of the shop.
Oh god.
Okay, great. Thank you for that contribution.
I just was saying, I was gonna do it in the shop, but then he made me the shoes, so I figured I'd do it on the door. He's mean. He pushed me off the desk. I'm mad about it.
Start to make my way back to.
I'm mad about it.
Back
pretty
to
on
Zane's
brand.
place.
That's in character, okay? I'm mad about it.
Coincidentally, it's also out of character.
Oh god.
Go ahead there, Lucius Casanova. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Puddins,
no,
for the sub.
I just make my way back to the Korakai estate and trying to kind of get myself ready for the party.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wishes to do? God, I'm so drunk.
There's stuff that Aubrey wants to buy, but I can send you and talk to you about that between sessions.
As long as it's not too exotic, we can just hand wave it, unless there's a specific kind of scene you're gunning for.
Not really a scene, just some questions about certain things.
How much a keg of gunpowder costs? Because I can answer that.
She already has that.
Oh, fuck me, you sure do.
Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck.
Yep.
250 gold a pop.
It's just like the choking dust and some other things.
Oh, the dust of choking and sneezing? That's black barca.
Yeah.
But you mean like the pieces to craft it?
Mm-hmm.
Clever girl. Okay, well, yeah, you can message me. I'll reply or whatever. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I'll message you because there's some other things I want to talk about as well. Like, because I can make wands.
You can. We can talk about that now. I'm drunk, so I'm much more friendly and pliable.
Drew.
Well, I want to make a wand of fireball, but I don't know if she can.
Shit. You have to be able to cast the spell Fireball or know someone who can.
Okay. Because she can cast it at level 9, but she can't cast it currently.
But Zane can cast it, so Zane could help you craft it.
Okay.
So yes, you could craft that spell, but Zane would have to consent to using his resources for that day.
Okay.
And I don't know if the Artificer provides guidelines for that, like cost and stuff, do they?
For my
Excuse me.
artillerist, it's quarter of the time and half the cost.
Okay.
Of what we normally cast or cost.
Okay. All right. Cool. We can cover that. Cool. Awesome. Great. If there's nothing, is there anything else anyone wishes to do?
We'll prepare for the party. Finish up my song. Do some vocal warm-ups.
Oh, Zane. Yeah, Zane has one thing he wants to do. Is to find his father at some point.
Okay. Go ahead.
Just have a little quick chat. Say, hello. I imagine you have been informed about this party. But there was a quick other manner, another thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Of course, son. What is it?
Zane kind of says in a kind of hushed tone. I believe it is possible that the Marchion perhaps is spying on us in some capacity, perhaps, maybe through our servants or something of the sort. I'm sure, the servants have been background checked and everything of the sort, but maybe just make sure their allegiances lie with the Korakais.
You think so? What leads you to believe this?
Apparently one of my friends was in contact yesterday with the Marchion after we had already vacated. They had gone to do their own business, but somehow found their way back there. I don't really know how, but seem to have a concern for that.
Well, the Marchion has many spies. Possible he's gotten to one of our servants, although we are very careful. I can try to be more thorough, but if he's gotten to one of them, it could cause more harm than good than trying to rout one of them out. However, I shall keep an eye out.
Okay, as long as you are aware, I suppose, at the very least.
Well, that is much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. You're welcome.
He kind of smiles. He says, "So, you're a man of the world now. What do you make of it?"
It's a very obviously different place. I know you have been all around everywhere, but as this is my first experiences around, it's rather... my first thoughts happen to be it is exhilarating. Traveling all around and conquering different enemies, establishing alliances, relationships, meeting different creatures of the world, but not all of them to just slay, some to make deals with.
He says, such is the way of the world. It's good to hear that you've both learned of the way of war and the way of diplomacy. It's essential.
Yeah, I suppose I have learned that from your guidance, so trying to follow in those footsteps to a certain degree, of course. I don't really myself have much interest in it unless I am required for it of, strict military warfare, but in my own way, I am growing accustomed to fighting.
He smiles. We all have our own strengths, and you certainly have many that I don't even possess. I'm very proud of everything that you've accomplished, and I love you very much.
Oh, thank you. I love you as well. It's just comforting to hear. Yeah. Also, I had wanted to ask. I avoided the conversation before I left Mirabar initially, but obviously the Marchion doesn't really like me.
No, but he knows he can't harm you. I'd burn his manor to the ground.
Yeah. Has there been any developments with that since I have been gone, or anything?
Well, the only other avenue is we agree to some kind of entailment, tying the money and the title and the estate, etc., that she inherits, making it her own right. Essentially, you would not inherit her. She would inherit her father's title, and you would not be entitled to it. Although her money, her title, and estate would be separate, and they'd be able to do what they will. But it's not really acceptable by our standards.
Oh, you're talking of Thea.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about. I thought we were talking about you and your intended.
Oh. My.
What is it that you were trying to talk about?
No, this was the Marchion and these things that, he maybe, I don't know if there was any, public decree that he had said of me, and I, too, obviously doesn't want me around, but...
No, of course he doesn't. Nothing about on that front has changed, and you know why. He doesn't want you to inherit his land and titles.
Yes, of course. Okay. Perhaps I will appear more favorably to him upon my next return to Mirabar, but I suppose that is not something to really hold much weight to.
Yeah, he says, don't hold your breath. Leopards don't change their spots. Tigers don't change their stripes. Now do they? Marchion is who he is, Crowan. Zay. And we are who we are.
That is true.
If we accepted the entailment, you could perhaps marry her. But I think you know that you would never truly be the man of that marriage, a partner in that marriage, an equal partner in that marriage. As long as he lived with that attitude.
With that attitude, yeah. That is the unfortunate part.
And I don't think that's the kind of marriage you want.
Zane just doesn't say anything to that.
He kind of tilts his head a little bit at you.
Yeah. No, it is not insane. Like, looks away, like, clearly, like, lost in thought.
Listen, keep doing what you're doing. Pile up enough wins. You'll have to at least make some kind of concession. The only other solution is that when you marry, we sign over our lands and titles to her, and she becomes the inheritor of the Korokai estate.
Yeah, which would not be necessarily an option, right?
He kind of... Well... It's your lineage. It's your fate. It's your destiny. Your wealth, your land, your titles that you'll inherit are your ultimately your decision.
Speaking of lineage, while traveling the world, it couldn't help but feel like it was something at least a part of me was destined for, and I haven't really asked before, but for my birth parents, did you know anything about them?
He stands up straight. I'm afraid I haven't been able to turn up anything.
Alright, just in case you have, but okay.
Have your thoughts been turning to them?
More so my thoughts have been turning to the part of me that, I mean, I would never actually, but wants to sort of is thinking about just being a part of the world, an adventurer of sorts, the taste of, maybe it's just the taste of quote-unquote freedom after being a part of all of this for so long. And of course I would never abandon this, but it feels like it is natural to be of the world. And I don't really know why. That was not the way I was raised.
He kind of looks up. I'm trying to remember. I guess I'll ask this in character. Have I ever told you about how I found you?
If you did, it was a long time ago. Something about a village that was a bit far, and I got brought here. But that is about it.
Yes. I found you as a very young child during the War of the Silver Marches in the ruins of a recently assaulted village that used to be inhabited by Dragonborn. Kind of quasi-draconic humanoids. When I found you, you looked much as you do now, except for you did have the most brilliant golden shimmer, particularly on your chest, a kind of set of scales. I believe the place I found you was the Elder's hut or temple. I think you were kind of blessed by them in some way. Fortunately, I do not. He shrugs. I can tell you where this village is and where the ruins are. But it is not the birthplace of your parents.
Perhaps, yeah, if you know where it is still, perhaps my adventures would take me near to there. I could just look at it, perhaps.
He just kind of takes a deep breath and he says, I don't mind telling you, but may not be exactly what you're looking for.
Probably not, no.
It is to the west of here. It is between Raven's Rock and a place they call the Clothen Vale. It's in the mountains, squarely between the two. It's just ruins now, but Clothen Vale, as they say, is home to a rather terrifying red dragon. So stay clear from there. But Dragonborn did settle on its outskirts.
A red dragon, those are quite dangerous, I suppose, right?
Yes, Clothen is quite legendary and powerful. Do stay clear of the Vale. But on its outskirts you can find the ruins of the Dragonborn settlements.
Okay, thank you. I will steer clear of Clothen. I do not want to have a run-in with a red dragon. I do not think anytime soon, at least.
Darius says, Lord Darius says, the rumor is that he is not only a red dragon, but an accomplished wizard. They say he dual wields wands and disintegrates his opponents. Clothen, the Red Terror.
Sounds like the preface to a song my friend Lucius might sing or something.
I hope it's not a song he ever has to sing for you. If you meet that dragon, you would certainly end up a pile of dust, and I want you to stay safe.
Thank you. Me as well. But I suppose I might be off to assist in preparations, but yeah, hopefully this party goes well.
Puts a hand on your shoulder as long as you consent. Son.
Yep.
I know you have to go looking for them, but what'd you find? It just may not be what you want or even what you need. I know this is a piece of you that you need to learn. But just come home whenever you're done.
I will.
All right. And he bids you adieu. Anything else anyone wishes to do before we call it? All right.
Dragons.
Yeah, don't go to Clothen Vale. You will all die. That is not like a meta, like, haha, don't go there. It's like, it's a wizard. It's literally an ancient red dragon that casts 9th level spells and dual wields wands. You will fucking die.
I don't know about the dragon, so
Yeah.
he doesn't tell me.
That's like literally Matthew saying, please don't go there. I want you all to live. Okay, so we'll go around and do our thing. We can just decompress here for a minute and, just chill for just a little bit. There's no reason to rush. Everyone can just talk about their favorite moment and do their thing. We'll start with, Tomster, if we want to do it that way.
Hello, Tom. I am a fighter drow. I just played that. You saw it.
With a sword.
With a sword. I have a sword and a shield. I am on Twitter and Twitch, but I don't do anything on either of them, so I'm just not gonna say them. Yeah, favorite part was probably my personal favorite part was when I was just like who's the suitor, and I said me. I thought that was very funny. I thought my own joke was very funny. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, other than that, we play Firefly on Tuesdays at 9:30 Central Time. I play a real life cleric. Yeah, have fun. Bye.
May.
Hi, May. My favorite part of tonight was the part when Lucia said, "Is there any way? Does anyone have a spell?" Or Zane said, "Anyone have a spell to make it quiet?" And then Kaiser said, "I have a sword." So that was my favorite part. Classic.
Thank you.
Um, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MaybeBuzz, where I just post a lot of selfies. So if you're into that kind of thing, then follow away.
Maybe Buzz. Alrighty, Casanova.
Well, yeah, I'm Casanova. I play Lucius Cavalierius, the human bard. I think my favorite part from today was kind of, yeah, the whole dynamic of speaking to the Marchion and trying to kind of give up the guise of playing both sides while trying to bluff with him that I was in more of a position of power than I actually was, and there's a whole game there, and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Casanova Hots. You can find me commentating TFT on Giant Slayer TV, and potentially more other shows on that channel as well. But yeah.
Awesome. Crowan.
Hello, my name is Crowan. You could find me on Twitch and Twitter at Crowan and Instagram at C9Crowan. Be participating in a tournament tomorrow at 2 p.m. PST. I'll be streaming it on my channel. Should be a bunch of fun. Favorite moment. I did also like the Lucius and Marchion scene a lot. But then the other one I suppose would be Zane and Rosalia on the balcony, being eventually interrupted by Lucius drunken stumbling through. I think that was a nice end to it, a comical end to it. But yeah, probably my favorite scene.
Awesome. Faye.
Hello, I am Faye. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at It's Faye. Favorite moment? Probably the absurdity of this party plan that's actually going to happen now. And that everything is now actually making it happen somehow. And it's going to go horribly wrong, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm like counting the ways it's going to be a fucking disaster.
There are many ways.
It's a daring play, but hey, if it pays off, high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am Matthew Foreman. I am at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter, folks. I am a DM here at Dice Priori, and until today, I was Urban Shadows on Variant Roles. The series finale is there on Variant Roles this Sunday, but that's the last episode, so catch it for now. Wait for announcements, DM. So, Ghost of the Machine comes back this Wednesday. We took a 2-week break on behalf of the holiday, 7 p.m. I would say that my favorite moment, I really liked the way Crowan, you role-played. I loved this whole episode. Y'all are so great. Crowan, I really liked your voice changes for Zane in the balcony scene. That was really touching, the way you kind of role-played differently and how sweet and tender Zane was in that moment rather than so fucking haughty and arrogant. And you did the whole scene without telling her you were from Mirabar, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think you're all just great. I was gonna do so. I'm a little drunk, but before this whole thing, I was reflecting today how much I enjoy this game. You know, I run two DM two D&D games every week, and work full time. And it's not that it's not hard, but like I love doing it and DMing for such wonderful players that are just so entertaining and good natured, and they listen and give each other space and do all the wonderful things that you want from players and in its space is just so great, and you're all just so great.
Thank you,
So much,
Matt.
Matt.
You're great too. You're DMing Pog, big Pog.
Huge pogs in the chat.
Pogs. Big
Gotta
boy
throw some-
pogs.
Big boy Pogs, that's what we need. Make the amount. Alrighty, if there's anything else that he wants to say, go ahead and say it. I'll set up the raid.
Yeah, I mean,
Kaiser has a sword.
Kaiser
True.
has a sword.
True.
Did I do that right?
And Lucius has a song.
Yeah.
True.
And Aubrey has a gunpowder keg.
Had that
And
for a while.
Alyssa is 15.
Christ. The
I'm
good-
about to have shoes that
And
make it
Zane is
silent.
from Mirabar.
Huge shoes.
Yeah, you're gonna be you're trolling my shoes, and I'm gonna sneak up behind you and steal your fucking salt and stuff.
You already stole my
So-
Yumi shoes.
True.
True.
Check your bag, homie.
I'm not checking it. I already know it's there. Fuck you.
That was really wholesome and sweet. We're gonna go ahead and raid Legendary Action Official. Join us next time from Mirabar with love, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. See y'all.